Hi folks, welcome back to Loving's Guitar, where I like to talk about guitars and how they move me. Make me do strange things, all for a purpose, right? What's the point of playing guitar if it's not for a purpose? On the other hand, you might find that just playing guitar does nothing for you other than just calm you down, right? Well, then consider that act a purpose in calming you down, or lifting you up, or inspiring you to get lost, or make mistakes along the way and don't feel so bad about it, because it's all in the efforts of having as much fun as possible through life. Because you only have one life, folks. Only one time. Whatever time you have on Earth, this is your time to do whatever it is you need to do. It doesn't happen, and you don't get another chance at this. So if there's anything I can tell you, impart to you, and for the old folks like myself or older, you guys know this already, but for the younglings, don't wait for anything. Don't expect anything, and don't wait for anything. Don't wait to be prepared. Don't wait to get good enough. Don't wait to be acknowledged or even appreciated. Don't wait for anything. Don't even wait for yourself, for heaven's sakes. Don't wait. What's the worst that can happen to you? People say you suck. That's the worst people can say. You suck. Big deal. Move on. Why? Because you only got one life, one time on Earth. What are you going to do with it? Feel sorry about yourself because people say you suck? No. Don't fight back. Because when you do, you suck too. No, let the people who want to call you out or say you suck or say you're not fast enough, smart enough, tall enough, strong enough, good looking enough, hairy enough, non-hairy enough, whatever enough that you're not enough of. Who cares? You know what? The reality is no one cares except for the people that care. And sometimes that's self-defeating. Because if you care about what other people, your perception of what other people are supposed to believe about you, you're living through their eyes. You're living through their perspectives, beliefs, and their version of you. Let's just say they're even good versions of you. Let's say all the people on Earth have a great version of you. And that's great, right? Because they're not bad versions, right? Good or bad, they both suck. Because the best version you're going to know of yourself is just you. Just let you be you. How about that? All right? And you know what? People will either join you or not want to join you. And you'll be in a community of people who want to be with you because exactly who you are. How about that? They'll be with you because, well, they're like you. Maybe they like the way you play guitar. It's not for everyone else. Guitar players are not built for everyone on the planet. A guitar player can play better than another guitar player, but they're both guitar players. And the same thing goes with guitars too. Understand what the value they bring to us is. This thing cost me, pickups cost twice as much as the guitar, right? But the feeling it gives me is way more than what I paid for. So, well, even if I were to sell this at whatever I paid for, including all the mods and everything, and then sell it off, I'll just make my money back, right? So I had whatever usage of time, and then I sell it, and then I still make money or whatever. Let's just say that. Do you think that's a good thing? Or how about this? How about it goes up, so let's say this costs altogether $350, right? Because I put the Eric Johnson pickups. Someone offers me, say, $500, $600 for this guitar. I have to consider not the price. I have to consider what this guitar, how it makes me feel. Am I willing to trade my feeling? See, here's the thing. Guitars are half of the equation of the whole mystery of what makes a connection to a guitarist. Because it's not the name, and it's not even the guitar. There's a something that happens between the guitarist and the guitar. Now that something is so real and so valuable, you can't put a number on it. So, how do you explain that? Because I know there are some guitars I have these feelings for. That despite whatever cost that there is involved in this whole material thing, the feeling it gives to me is way more valuable. So what is that feeling worth to you? Is it worth, what, $100, $200? Can I buy your feeling for how a guitar makes you feel? Can I buy that feeling from you? How much is that feeling worth to you? How do you explain that? How do you measure the feeling of what a guitar does for you? Any guitar. Now, granted, there's some guitars out there, like guitar players out there, you might have one or two guitars, or maybe one guitar. That one guitar has all the feeling. You're giving it everything you got. There's a synergy in there. There's also a synergy with players who have many guitars, so long as they still have a connection. It's not how many guitars you have, it's how many connections you have. Do you have a connection to your guitar? Forget about the name on the headstock. Oh, I got a connection to this valuable piece of material that I can showcase to all my friends and rub elbows and... You know what? That's a collector. I'm a player. I'm just a player. Yes, I do have guitars. I have a few. And I like guitars. And I play them. And I base the value of a guitar on how it makes me feel. That's it. If anyone can understand that, bless your heart. If you don't understand it, I already said it. And I don't need to reiterate. Because I'm 61. I'm going to be 62 before the end of the year. I've come across many relationships with guitars. Connections, I should say, all right? Connections which turned into relationships. Because a real connection to anything, well, is a relationship. Now, if this is a human being, well, you better put a lot of time and effort to develop that connection and believe in it and understand that it gives you a reward. That's the whole reason why you get in a relationship in the first place, because you want more of that connection. Right? You should be thankful that you don't have to be taken to court for divorcing your guitar. I bet you so many guitar players would have a lot of ex-wives, right? If these were your wives, right? This is probably a reason why it's hard for me to sell guitars, because I feel a connection. And that's what it's supposed to feel like. So whether it's a $10,000 guitar, $5,000, $2,000, $500 guitar, or even $100 guitar, base the reason why you have that guitar on a connection. Do that, and you're gonna get a whole lot more out of every single guitar you ever pick up, including the ones you don't have a connection to. The reason why I say that is because when you pick up guitars that you don't have a connection to, you realize the connection you have with the guitar that you've been playing. And you go back, and then you go, wow, I'm home, honey. I veered off course for a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm back. You have that kind of connection with a guitar? That's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. Every guitar player should have that. Every guitar player. Every instrument player. Whatever instrument you're playing. I'm a guitarist. So I've lived the guitarist life, and I'm thankful for every single minute I'm in this world of delving deep into everything guitar. I just love the guitar. I love it. And sure, I do have a bunch of guitars that I have a connection with, but they're not so strong, and I can actually gauge them on a level that I would say, well, I could let you go, only because maybe someone else can find you so beautiful, more beautiful, and get you played more. And then some guitars, I'm not gonna let go. Why? The connection is way too close. This guitar, I'm very connected to this guitar. And other than the fact that you put in some time into this guitar to make it the way I wanted it. And there's still some things I want to adjust to it. But the Eric Johnson pickups really touched me. And I was really sold on this. And I'm glad I picked the Eric Johnson, because those are two Alnico 5s and one Alnico 3, and an Alnico 3 on the bridge. I like that. Actually, to tell you the truth, I'm really more towards lower Alnicos, 2s and 3s. And then if I want to get distorted, overdriven, I'll drive the line up, or I'll add an overdrive, or if I want to fuzz it out, I'll go to a fuzz box, my muffaletta. And that's pretty much it. And then, of course, there's the Atmos stuff, which I call, which is any delays or any modulations. But I try not to modulate so much, like choruses or flangers and stuff like that. But it's mostly delays, and sometimes just only one reverb. I don't usually use more than one reverb. So on my pedal board, I just have a Boss Digital Reverb, the RV2. Everything else is just delays. And I have a Super Ego by Electro Harmonics that I have various amounts of delays I can do with that. But mine is on a very, very, very subtle, like echo delay tape type. And it's very little feedback, very little repeats or anything like that. It's just very, very little. And then I even have another pedal, which is actually, that is a Behringer VD 400. It's kind of very similar to the Boss delay, the purple, the original analog delay. Very similar. And I have that set to almost the minimal amounts of repeats, intensity, and and then the delay to dry mix. It's almost dry. So it's just a very, very small hint of that delay. And then when I really want to or get some thickness at the end, I will go to a Line 6D04 Mark II. And that's, we can, well, that thing's a freaking orchestra of delay. Well, that's pretty much it. I don't know. Folks, sometimes I get long-winded. It happens. Sometimes I lose my place in my own thoughts, where I am. Losing my train of thought. That train left a long time ago. So you know what I've noticed? I've noticed that many of you folks who frequent my channel and just watch the disaster of a ship hit the iceberg. You guys repeatedly come to watch this channel, yet you haven't subscribed. How about considering subscribing? Thank you in advance for considering subscribing to my channel. On behalf of Loving's Guitar, sometimes I get the topics and sometimes I just completely fall off the cliff. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. No, we shut everything off. So how does this sound without all the shenanigans? Does it sound good still? Unplugged? Stays in tune. Now this guitar is a full floater. You can see how the bridge is right off of the surface. It's off the surface, and so I can pull back. And so this is a 6-point trem. Apparently they're very difficult to maintain. I don't know who started that rumor and has convinced the world that 6-point trems suck. No, they don't suck. Just the idea that you can't get it to work? That's completely wrong. And not by a small percentage. And not like 50-50. 50, right, 51, no. Not 75, 80, not even 99%. It's 100% wrong. 6-point trems can be just as reliable, efficient, and accurate as any 2-point trem wished on every day they could be. That's absolutely right. No one's gonna try to convince me otherwise. I don't know. I've been playing guitar for way too many years. Way too many years of accepting bullshit as the truth. I didn't know. For decades. I thought 6-point trems was stupid. I avoided playing Fender Stratocasters. Got turned off back in the early 80s, or around 1980, right there. One of my best friends, my roommate at Berkeley, he had a Fender Strat. I think it was a 75 or 76 Strat. Bad. I love you, Ian, but your guitar was hard. I felt so bad. Reason why is because Ian was a good friend of mine, but his girl, I didn't like his girl. But that's his girl. If he wants to play, that's cool. It made him feel good. But every time I would pick up his Strat, I was a million miles away. Detached, I felt. Plus it weighed a ton. His whammy bar, you pull anyway, it was out of tune. It wasn't going to stay in tune ever. So obviously I grew on to believe that all Strats would be that way, and pretty much avoided Strats for I don't know, a decade or so because of that. I was traumatized. And then by that time, I'm locked into the Gibson trip. So I was almost anti-Fender. Until finally I started playing a few Fenders. And then I noticed that some could stay in tune, no matter what you do on the whammy bar. But I still didn't go for it. Until finally, all right, let me see. And let me try out one of these things, a Harley Benton. I'm not going to lose any money even if I decide not to do anything with it. Big freaking deal, right? That's what I thought. Little would I know, as this thing would progress, that I'd be in love with this. had to get that out before I forget it, you know, because I forget things. You know, it is what it is. I get older. I've gotten older. And